Bristol Community College, Mathematics with Dan Avedikian, Math 060, Topics in Developmental Mathematics, Section 4.4, Problem 9. This is Section 4.4, it's Problem 9. It says fill in the blanks. So in the top row, I have 1/5 as a fraction. I need to figure out what it is as a decimal and as a percent. So in its fraction form, what I like to do is, if I can, multiply the denominator times some value so that it becomes a 100. Now in this case, I can. The denominator is 5. 5 times 20 is 100. So if I multiply the denominator times 20, I also have to multiply the numerator times 20. The numerator is 1. 1 times 20 is 20. Now in this form, when I have a fraction and the denominator is 100, the percent is the numerator. So the numerator is 20. Therefore, the percent is 20%. Now, to write that as a decimal is pretty easy. What I do is take the decimal point where I assume it to be at the very end after the 0 and pull it 2 positions to the left. So that would be 0.20. Now, most people won't write the 0 at the end. 0.20 is correct, but 0.2 would be a more common way to write the answer. Some people like to put a 0 in front, so it'd be 0.2. That'd be okay also. I would either write 0.2 or 0.2. I wouldn't put 0.20. Now, the next row down, I have the percent given as 275%, and I have to write the decimal equivalent and the fraction. This one we can really go in either order. To make the decimal, just take the decimal point where it's written, go 2 places to the left. It's not actually written in the 275%, but you can assume it's after the 5. So if I go 2 positions to the left, it would show up between the 2 and the 7. So as a decimal, it would be 2.75. And now, as a fraction, I know it's 2 3/4. The 0.75 is 3/4. Now, let's say you didn't know that. How would you come up with that? So what I would do, just off to the side here, the percent becomes the numerator of a fraction, and the denominator is 100 to make it a fraction. So I have 275 over 100. That is the fraction. Believe it or not, that's the same as 2 3/4. How are we going to get there? Well, I can reduce this. First of all, I can see 25 divides into both of them evenly. The top, I don't know without thinking about it a little bit, but I know 25 goes into 104 times. I just know that. Now, if it goes into 104 times, to go into 200, you're up to 8. There's 3 more 25s to get to 75, so 8 and 3 more, 11. So 11 times 25 will be 275. So I have 11 over 4. 11 over 4 and 2 3/4 are the same. Now you can either figure that 11 over 4 is close to 12 over 4, which is 3. 12 over 4 will reduce by 3, so it's 1/4 less than 3, so 2 3/4. Or what you could do is divide the 4 into the 11. 4 divides into 11 twice. 2 times 4 is 8. 11 minus 8 is 3. I have remainder 3, so the remainder is the numerator and the denominator stays 4. So there's a 2 3/4. So I knew the 0.75 was going to give me that. I wrote it right away. If you don't know it, you can get it pretty easily. So now we go to the next row down. The block that's filled in is the fraction block. It's 39 over 10. Write that as a decimal and as a percent. So as with all the fractions, if I can, I want to find something to multiply times the denominator of 10 to turn it into 100. Well, times 10 will work. So I can make that denominator 100 easily. 10 times 10 made 100, so the numerator of 39 times 10 would be 39 with a 0 after it, or 390. Now that I have a denominator of 100, to make a percent is super easy. When the denominator is 100, the percent's the numerator. So the numerator is 390, so the percent's 390%. Piece of cake. Now, to convert that 390% to a decimal, take the decimal point where it's written, and again, it's not actually written, but you can assume it's at the end of the 0, and you're going to move it 2 positions to the left. So it'll show up between the 3 and the 9. So it would be 3.90. Now, again, most people won't end the decimal with a 0. You can if you like, but it would be more common to just write 3.90 as plain old 3.9. Either one would be okay. I would write 3.9. Now, the next one down, 88%. We have to do the decimal and the fraction. You can really do this one in either order. The 88% There's no decimal written. Assume it's at the end to the far right. To make it a decimal, you're just going to go 2 positions to the left. So it'll become 0.88. And again, 0.88 is okay. Some people prefer to write 0.88. They're both okay. And now as a fraction, what you do is write the percent in the numerator and make the denominator 100. That can reduce. It is 88 over 100. You can reduce by 4. That'll get it started. So 4 goes into 88, well, 2 for both, so 22 goes in 22 times. 4 divides into 125 times, so 22 over 25. Will that reduce again? No. So that's as far as it goes. As a fraction, 22 over 25. So 1 row left. I have a decimal of 1.6. Write that in a fraction form and as a percent form, and that'll fill in all the boxes. Let's think of the 1.6 as a 1.60 and make it into a percent first. I put that 0 in the end because to make a decimal into a percent, what I want to do is take the decimal point, pull it 2 positions to the right. So if I go 2 to the right, I have to have that extra 0 in there. And it becomes 160 with a percent symbol after is 160%. And now that I have the percent, I can make the fraction. I put the percent in the numerator. So 160 is a percent. It goes in the numerator. You make a denominator of 100. So 160 over 100. That's the answer, but it's not reduced. I can reduce that. I can reduce a variety of ways. The first thing that I see right away, because they both end in 0, I can basically chop off a 0. Essentially, I'm dividing the top and bottom by 10. So I'm left with 16 over 10. Those are both even, so I can make that 8 over 5. And that's okay like that, or you can write it as a mixed number. And off to the side, let's do 5 divides into 8 how many times? It goes in once. 1 times 5 is 5. 8 minus 5 is 3. So I have 1 3/5. And all the blank spaces have been filled in.